One of the biggest accusations that Muslims make against Christians is that our scriptures are corrupted. Not only is this not true, but it's just so ridiculous that we have to, for some reason, come up with explanations as to why it isn't corrupted and why someone who lived 600 years after Jesus actually has the truth about God. His name was Muhammad. But David Suarez here is going to explain to us why this is not the case and maybe what we can say about it. Why the heck do Muslims, why do they start with this, man? That our scriptures are corrupted. They're corrupted.
Number one, it's because they haven't read their own book. I'm going to be really clear about that. When Muslims say this is actually against Allah and against the Quran. So Muslims are actually technically becoming kafir. They're becoming disbelievers by rejecting the clear teaching of the Quran, right? So to be clear for anyone who doesn't know what kafir means, it means like disbeliever. It's one who rejects the beliefs of the Islamic faith. And so
kind of like we would say like a pagan or a heathen.
Yeah, exactly. Like pagan or heathen. They'd be like kafir, infidel, And so whenever a Muslim or anyone rejects the Quran in any of its teachings, then they become kafir. They become a disbeliever. Well, fun fact, every single time a Muslim says that our text has been corrupted, they've become kafir. And if there's a Muslim right now who's like, I am not a kafir, you're a kafir, calm down. Hold up. Wait a minute. Your text is actually really, really clear.
I'm going to make T-shirts that say "Proud Kafir."
I would love to get
whatever they call it.
Proud Kafir. Because I am. I don't hold to that faith at all. What they hold, but the Quran is really clear about this. It's so clear that I'm going to, if we're able to share the screen, let's see if we can. I want to share some of the clear statements from the Quran about the previous texts and scriptures. That would be like, obviously the Bible, the Torah and the Gospels and all that. So let me see if there's a way for me to share my screen so that it's available here. Now you guys can actually see what the Quran really says about the Torah and the Injil. And again, for any Muslims, because I know Muslims are going to be like, no, I heard from all of my imams and all of my teachers and all of the dawah guys on my YouTube and TikTok clips that the Bible has been corrupted. Well, number one, besides the fact that even people like Bart Ehrman wouldn't say that the Bible has been like manifoldly corrupted or something, right? That there's this consistency across all of the different copies of the New Testament and across all the manuscripts and all that. But before we even get into that, let me just explain why a Muslim specifically should be really wary of saying this, since saying that makes them a kafir, a disbeliever. It makes them leave the religion of Islam. So yes, every Muslim who's ever said that, including those who are watching, you are a kafir. Let's watch. The Torah was revealed to Musa, and Muslims are commanded to believe in it. Indeed, we sent down the Torah, in which was guidance and light. Surah Al-Ma'idah 544. Well, now wait a second. If Muslims are commanded to affirm all of the previous scriptures, like all that was revealed, right? Surah Al-Baqarah 2:136, then and the Torah is a guidance and a light, then that means that the Muslims are commanded to believe in the previous scriptures, the Torah, the Injil, and the Zabur, right, which is the Psalms. So Muslims, if you say that the Torah is corrupted, first 5 books of the Old Testament, ooh, sorry, that means that you are no longer a Muslim because you deny the clear teaching of the Quran. But it gets a little bit worse. If a Muslim, because for some reason they won't usually attack the Torah as much. Number one, because they probably don't interact with that many people on it, but it still would disprove their religion. But if you move on, the gospel was given to Jesus, and it too contained guidance and light. Surah Al-Ma'idah 546, and we sent down, why does Allah use the we pronouns? We don't know. And we sent following in their footsteps, Jesus, the son of Mary, confirming that which came before him.
Gender or whatever that is today.
Yeah, maybe he's also
all confused in his own body.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't have a body. Never mind. He's just confused.
Well, he that's true. He is. Confirming that which came before him in the Torah, and we gave him the gospel in which was guidance and light. Well, that's interesting. Both the Torah and the gospel are considered guidance and light. And obviously guidance and light while being in union together. So he's confirming that which came before him in the Torah. So whatever Jesus is saying in the Gospels is in union with that which is in the Torah, and they're both sent down by Allah. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, maybe there was a gospel or a Torah that was different at the time of Muhammad than what you have today. Well, that's not true, because the people of gospel at the time of Muhammad were expected to judge by the gospel. Surah Al-Ma'idah 547, so let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has revealed therein. Now, again, all you have to say, and I, of course, have this like quirky author's note here because I'm pretending to be like, here's what a Muslim imam is going to say. Doesn't this imply that they still had it during Muhammad's time? You may be thinking, oh, how cute. You're thinking critically again with human logic. Let's just say they had some parts or it's partially preserved. That's the safe option. So that's what a Muslim's going to try to tell you, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Don't use critical thinking or logic. Instead, just
unless
say,
you're talking about the Trinity, then you have to use.
Yeah, exactly. Because remember,
we're fine on logic with the Trinity anyway. But
they're very inconsistent with their standards. So again, according to the Quran, we have to judge by the gospel. Christians are commanded to judge by the gospel. And again, was it the gospel at the time of the Christians at the time of Muhammad? Well, fun fact, the Bible at the time of Muhammad, available in Arabia, the Peshitta Bible, you can translate that. It's the same as the Bible we have today. It's the same as the New Testament we have today. It's the same as the gospel we have today.
We know this, right? It's just the Islamic claim that it was.
Yeah. So no matter what angle you Muslims try to go with this, if you say, well, it was the gospel at the time of the people in Arabia, the prophet. I'm like, great. We actually have access to the Peshitta Bible. You translate that. It's the Bible we have today. But now, for the heck of it, just for thinking through it, maybe Muslims like, oh, well, maybe it's all been corrupted then. Maybe it was not just the books there, but maybe it was all corrupted. Well, if it was all corrupted, guess what you can't do and say? You cannot say this in part 4. Say, O Muslims, we believe in Allah and in what was revealed to us and what was revealed to Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, and what was given to Moses, Musa, and Isa, Jesus, and what was given to the prophets from their Lord. Fun fact. Are you able to believe in something that you don't actually know? No. You can't actually believe in what Allah has revealed to these people if you don't have access to what they were given, right? As Christians, you know what we say we have access to? What was revealed to Abraham and the very little bit in the Bible that's revealed to Ishmael, which is really just a promise that it'll be a donkey of a man, right? And Isaac and Jacob and Moses and Jesus and Noah, and Jonah, all these different prophets, and Elijah and Elisha. We have access to the writings and the prophecies regarding all these different prophets. You know what's not in the Quran? A whole lot of these prophecies given to all these different prophets. The Quran is missing a huge number. You're not going to find anything about Zephaniah or Zechariah or Haggai or Obadiah or anything. You're not going to find like a lot of information about Elijah or Elisha. You're not going to find most of the biblical prophets. And yet the Quran says that the Muslim has to believe in what was revealed to all of those prophets. Well, if you can't go to the Quran to see what was revealed to those prophets, you know where you got to go?
The Bible.
The Bible.
Clearly, yeah. I mean, I was it's funny how a lot of people are studying. A lot of Christian apologists are studying the Quran now, and you see a lot of things coming out about how the Quran and a lot of its information is not only taken from the Bible and from a Judeo-Christian worldview, stories, traditions, all these things, but also things like the Talmud, the Jewish Talmud. And there's a guy, I don't know his name, but I think the channel is Defending a Lion, I think is the name of the channel. And he's done quite a bit of work on it. It's really amazing. He must just sit around all day and read the Talmud because he's a Christian, but he's showing how the Islamic narrative, the Quran, and so on, it's stealing all of these stories, all of these concepts. If you just sort of think about it, like ideas of resurrection, of the afterlife, of all it, like where does the Quran get all of this stuff if not from the Bible? But what you're saying is basically like the Quran approves of the Bible. The Quran, so Muslims that come out with this, the Bible is corrupt. It's like the Quran. If like these people aren't reading the Quran
at all. As a matter of fact, if a Muslim says that any part of the Bible has been corrupt, like the Torah and the Injil, or the Zabur, the Psalms, let's just read this real quick. Can you read this real quick for me, Pastor AJ? Can you read that real quick? Because I feel like sometimes Muslims get tired of my voice.
there is none who can alter the word of Allah.
Hold up. Wait. Whoa. Whoa. Wait. Are you saying... Wait a second. Is that you making that up, or is that something that's in the Quran? What? Oh my goodness. So I guess every single Muslim ever who has said that the words sent down by Allah, the Torah, the Zabur, and the Injil, the gospel, every single Muslim who has said that those words have been changed, I guess they're kafir.
Yeah.
I guess they're kicked out of Jannah.
Like, how do you explain this to a Muslim? I mean, it's like, because I know I've talked to a lot of Muslims in my life. I recently took a friend of mine to church, and it's how do you explain this? Because I know that your average follower of Islam is just, this would be a little jarring. I can't imagine that they would accept this.
Oh,
that the Quran doesn't actually say the Bible is corrupt. It's a convenient scapegoat for them, because they realize they need the Bible. They need the stories from the Bible. And, Muhammad, he needed these stories and these things for his book, for his new cultish religion thing that he was making. But at the same time, he realizes that the Bible clearly says that Jesus is the culmination of the prophets. There's no prophet after Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So then Muhammad can't be a prophet. But we need the Bible stories. So it's just a convenient scapegoat to say, well, the Bible's corrupted. It's been corrupted. And it amazes me that this would even stick, like on anything or anyone. I mean, as an accusation that the Bible's, it's so convenient of an excuse. It's so absurd that I wonder, like, how does this find any traction? Does it? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing.
Tell me.
It really shouldn't, but you do have to understand something that's pretty foundational here, right? Yes, Allah is saying that we ordained therein the Torah for them, a life for a life, an eye for an eye, a nose for a nose. Like over and over, Allah says one thing. They distort words from their proper usages. It never actually says that the text of every single Bible, every single Torah, every single Injil, it never says the text of every single copy of it has been distorted or corrupted. It simply says that sometimes people misinterpret those words, but it never says that it's corrupted, right? They'll see that and say, amazing. But no, Allah, you're making a mistake. Here, let's explain what Allah really meant. Here, let's explain what Allah really meant.
And it's like when that happens and you're talking to the Daoist, or like we jokingly refer to them as the Dawagandist, It's like clearly logic has left the building.
Yes.
I mean, there is no, and I'm being serious. I mean, it is funny, but it's at the same time, it's like, honestly, I've been in these conversations where it literally doesn't matter. But just for those who are out there right now listening and hearing, especially Christians, like, we want you to understand the Quran does not say the Bible is corrupted. Yeah. It is an illogical conclusion that Muslims have to come to, because they know, this is the Islamic dilemma, the heart of the Islamic dilemma. They know that they need the Bible, but they know that the Bible also contradicts their Quran. And so that's the dilemma. And so the Bible's been corrupted. It's an illogical conclusion, or rather a logical conclusion based on an illogical premise.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just absurd. It's ridiculous. Like, from my opinion, the more I hear that, the more I don't understand why those words aren't immediately met with suspicion, because I think it speaks so clearly. It's just such a convenient thing to say that if you're talking to a Dawagandist, there's not even a need for an explanation.
Yeah.
As to Whereas the burden of proof should be on the person who's saying this has been corrupted. Well, where, when, and how? Like, when was it corrupted? Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. Explain. You
They
can't just
can't
say
answer
it.
that question.
And by the
When it
way,
was corrupted,
by the way, they'll sometimes claim things like, "Oh, well, the copy of the New Testament, the oldest copy of any New Testament passages we have access to are 200 or 250 years after." Right, which is not true. We have like P52, which was from like the end of the first century, beginning of the second century, and that was from like John's Gospel. But ignoring that, right? Yeah, even if we didn't have
it's all
any of the
speculation, though. There's no evidence.
yeah, because like there's no examples
Right?
of
I mean, there's
interpolation. There's no
say,
examples of
there's
like a
zero evidence for any of that. Like,
yeah.
there's none.
As a matter of fact,
to the contrary,
if you just look right, because number one, of course, we wouldn't have access to like the first century documents because they were in a place where they would be eroded by water. Right. That's why people made copies.
Yeah.
So like that's the whole point of having a copy because it's a copy. That's what copies do. They copy, right? So we have tons and tons of copies, and they're very, very reliable in different areas, different geographies, still similar writing, almost identical writing. Like the meaning, message, everything's carried through with like very, very clear univocity, right? It's like one vote. It's like univocal. It's all one voice.
Yeah.
Consistent. And so if that's the case, which it is, according to all of the textual availability for the New Testament documents that we have, then we have no reason to think that there's any type of interpolation or later additions from what we have access to. Now, again, the Muslim who says, "Oh, you guys don't have access to 2 or 3 until like 200 or 300 years after, some event." Well, if that were the case, that's supposed to decrease our likelihood of believing the Bible. Well, Muhammad wasn't until like 600 years after the close of like the New Testament or the resurrection of Jesus, like 600 years after.
But he knows more.
So it's like
the eyewitness accounts that we have.
Yes, from the first century, like which clearly they're eyewitness accounts. Please check out whether you want to check out like I guess resurrection of the Son of God, or if you want to check out Lydia McGrew's maximal facts argument for the resurrection. Where they would argue, oh, obviously these are eyewitness accounts. You could tell by the nature of eyewitness accounts, this is eyewitness writing. We can tell. But for any Muslim who says, well, it was until like 100 years after that you start to see some of these modern manuscripts from like 125 AD. I'm like, okay. Muhammad was 600 years after.
Yeah. It's just, they don't put their own scriptures through the same scrutiny, number one. But number two, that like that level of like corruption, that doesn't happen in 100 years.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost like in my opinion, it's almost like a proof for the reliability of like,
course.
You're talking. So we're going back in time, 1900 years now, and you're telling me they were corrupted, and the whole thing is just like what it is a convenient excuse for a guy living 600 years after the fact to say that he's the real prophet.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big excuse, a very convenient excuse that should come with a high level of scrutiny and incredibility. Like this is just, wait a minute. If you're saying these are all, like, you should have some high burden of proof.
Yes.
But you don't get any evidence. You don't get any of that from the Dawagandists. You just get, it's a statement, an unprovable statement. Mm-hmm. And it's not put through any scrutiny. And then it's just repeated over and over and over and over again. And they like to do it to people who don't know any better and who are put back on their heels so that they can get a clip and put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Even if you correct them and show them what their Quran says, they'll say, well, I have to find a Christian who doesn't know that and then lie to them, right? Islam is a religion of recitation and deception. Why is it a religion of recitation? Because in the cave where Muhammad met Jibril, who beat him up and choked him out and said, read. Muhammad's like, I can't read. And then the angel says to him, recite. And then Muhammad starts reciting. Oh, so it's not a religion of understanding, right? Yeah. It's a religion of just empty recitation.
Yeah, coercion and submission. I mean, it's literally, that's all it is. That's Islam means submission. It means you just submit to God, and that's it. There's no ideology of relationship and love and sacrifice and those kinds. It's crazy, man. Well, thanks again, David. I mean, I think it clears up a lot for those of us who, want to be logical, and we can understand, especially for Christians. Like, I just really want Christians to understand what the Quran really teaches, because this is almost like a mystical thing. We don't know anything, a mysterious thing, rather, that we don't know anything about. And for a lot of us here living in, the United States or in other Western cultures, all we really know is church. We know about Jesus. We know about that kind of stuff. But when you really look into the theology and the practices of Islam, it starts to fall apart very quickly. And the truth claims that it makes, this is one of those, that the Bible has been corrupted. So anything else you want to share before you go?
No, honestly, I mean, it's just important to help Christians understand. You can have these conversations. You don't have to be a professional just to be able to think logically, right? Know your scripture. Pray that God gives you wisdom in the moment. And if you need some good resources, again, check out my book, What Should a Muslim Believe? We're actually praying and working. I got a company working on a Spanish translation, so don't worry. Got some people that'll be able to defend Christianity in Spanish as well. And feel free to strengthen yourself with the knowledge that you're dealing with a religion that is not a competitor. It's not even on the same scale as Christianity. Christ is king, and everybody else is below him.
Amen, brother. And he's at Be the Iron, at Be the Iron on Instagram, YouTube. Anywhere else?
No, that's about it.
Okay. And check out his book or books. And God bless y'all. Remember, if somebody says to you, the Bible has been corrupted, all you have to do is say, no, it hasn't, and leave it at that. Or ask for proof. I think it's the easiest thing to do, because there is none. But having said that, God bless you, friends. Thanks again, David, for hanging out here with us today, and we'll see you in the next video.
Awesome. God bless.
Later.